illiteracy was the norm. The only exception was ancient Jews, where a fisherman is a scholar, where a carpenter can debate with priests. Now, if God has given a text to a people who are illiterate, they have to read. But God actually makes it difficult for them. He says, not just read, you copy it everywhere. So they complain that we don't have pen and paper, how are we supposed to copy? You write it on your walls, on your doorposts. Show this word in your clothing. Your women stitch your clothes, teach them to write. So if you are going to be a successful, prosperous person, you have to develop your mind. Think about what this means. Teach to your own children. Your dining table must become a school. So family is not just a biological unit where parents have produced a child, but it is an intellectual unit, a classroom where you are being taught.
You know, you think of writing these truths on our children's hearts and what that would have meant as a slow process with repetition and sacrifice. How many generations would have read and have sung this? It's really quite moving.
We also don't know what that does to people's cognitive architecture. So I have a friend, Rex Murphy, who's a great Canadian journalist, and he has poetry written on his soul. He can spout great tracts of poetry, and he speaks poetically and he writes poetically, and it's partly because the repeated practice that enabled him to do the memorization has literally crafted the parts of his brain that generate language. And so we don't memorize much anymore. People know songs. That's about it, I would say.
Songs are a memorizing process. Probably 80% of scripture memorization today exists only because of what is sung.
Right. Well, and that music is an aid to memory, because one of the ways to remember something is to peg it in multiple ways. And so with music, you get the connection to the notes and the connection to the rhythm and the rhyme. And so it is a real aid to memory.
The earliest origins of even the American Sunday school movement were singing schools. They began by teaching people to sing the scriptures, and that was the origin.
That was true of the German Reformation as well. Yeah. As Luther wrote the German hymn book, and then children went to the pastor's home. So pastor's home was the first school, and every morning it would begin with singing. Ancient Israel is the model for the modern world, where a son of a carpenter, a shepherd, would go to the synagogue to study under the priest and learn to read and write. And this is what particularly the Protestant movement began to do, to turn every church into a center of education, because as the book of Proverbs says, that the true wealth is in the minds, the hearts of the people.